decided to do a bit of stocking up for some of it's the immediate future, some of it's over the next year. Um, Particularly with the Star Trek, that's sort of the biggest element here. A few singles for some of the other games and a couple of minor sealed purchases. So we'll go through the singles second because I'm going to need to go into the binder and add some sets.
You can see yourself.
And add to the collection that way. We'll start with some of the big squishy box.
Oh my goodness, yeah. The box got so beat up.
I don't know how much of it is visible in the camera. But yeah, it's
look at the box. Look how bad it got beat up.
Rough journey. So
it is from Hills Wholesale Gaming.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta fix that.
That
is in the United States.
That meant extra, duties or tariffs or whatever the hang it was. And
stupid duties.
That's unfortunate. But I wanted to stock up, particularly on Star Trek for the next year. We didn't do a lot of Star Trek this year. We had more the year before. And next year, there's a Star Trek Magic the Gathering set coming out. So I'm going to want to do some comparing and contrasting to that.
Oh, and something that's not mail related, but it's kind of exciting if you didn't see the post yet. We bought tickets to a certain concert that I'm very excited about. Just saying.
Great.
Just saying.
So, to start off, this is something that I've been thinking about grabbing for a while. It's an introductory
Was duties expensive? They were expensive enough.
Card game.
It's all proportional to how much you buy, right? So
yeah. So this will be fun as a go-to.
To go over this way more. Look, I'm showing you so you can see.
Sorry, this will be fun to go through as a how to play the game type product. It's a 2-player deck. It was very early in the game's creation.
Yes, it was.
So it's from the first couple of expansions, basically, with some promo cards. So this is a Klingon version. Most of the promo cards are Klingon. But there's also an Admiral McCoy. At this time, the Star Trek game was based off the Next Generation. So in order to cross-promote it, they wanted to include some of the original series cast, and 3 of the main ones appeared in the series at different points. So in the pilot episode, you had Admiral McCoy. So they made a promo card for these boxes of him. There was also Spock, who appeared in a episode later on, and Scotty. So all of them got cards in here, and they even made a mission, I believe, as a reunion type thing where you're supposed to try to get the 3 of them together for extra points. So that'll be fun. It also came with, aside from the 2 decks, a pack each of Premiere and Alternate Universe, which was the first expansion. So neat little box from what I've heard, well put together. Never opened one before, so that'll be fun. The kids opened my box of Mirror, so I got a replacement. And this is, again, the second of 2 sets that they made based around largely the original series cast. So glad to have one of those again. Then there's Trouble with Tribbles was the first set based around that.
It's got a sticker on it that says contains 30 expansion boosters.
Yes. And there's the starter decks for Trouble with Tribbles. A great product if you're getting into the game to start with, and fairly inexpensive, so I grabbed a bit of that. More Trouble with Tribbles. This is probably my single favorite set after Premiere. If you really like Next Generation, Premiere is your thing. If you're more interested in the original series with a splash of Deep Space Nine, that set's really nice. Now we also got, this is a box I have not opened on stream. Q Continuum. It's impressive looking on a shelf. If you like Q, it's all about Q basically, and it's got some interesting rares and stuff, more deep divey. This is where you'll find, I think, Pulaski, who was in Series 2 of Next Generation. She got her card in this. Data's daughter, Lal, is in there. There's a few others. Some really good commons, a few, but the rares actually are not worth that much. So for the cost of that box, it's neat to flush out. It's still less than it would have been when it launched, but it's not as good a value proposition as any of the sets by far, because they're really, the big chase card in it is a $2 uncommon. Everything else is a buck or so or less. Then we've got Alternate Universe. This was the first expansion. This one has the Future Enterprise as an ultra rare chase card. So anxious to try and hunt that, since I've never opened one, and that would be cool. Also, there's an alternate Tasha Yar, which I've never opened. So this also contains the common version of Montgomery Scott, who is one of my favorite characters. And so, again, doubled up on that one for a number of reasons. But and then we have the cheapest set of the bunch was King Air. And I grabbed a whole booster box case of that, because those are by far, if you're just looking to crack some packs and you like Star Trek The Next Generation, that's your best value right there. US, I think they're something like $24 a booster box. So that makes even these look a little bit pricier. The other Star Trek boxes here, the ones I picked up, range in price from for a booster box $35 to $49. So double the price or somewhere in between. They're all still fairly economical, to be honest. There are other sets that are not, but those ones were. All right, let's get this big monstrosity out of the way. And then there's another smaller box that was in there. And this one has got the other products that aren't Star Trek related. Like I said, I didn't get as much of them for sealed. I kind of wanted to pick up more Lord of the Rings sealed product, but it's a lot more expensive than the Star Trek. And ultimately, given my project on the go for that game, I figured it was a little bit better to just put the money into some singles instead. So that's mostly what's going to be there for that. But we did grab, since they had a few in stock recently and on sale for the Lord of the Rings TCG, a couple packs of Siege of Gondor. Of the movie block sets, this one is one of the harder ones to find. So the fact that they had a few, I thought was interesting. So I picked up 2 of those.
Sorry, I missed comments because I went and made some tea.
So
there goes the budget for the year. What a huge haul.
It is a huge haul. And again, like I said, I wanted to stock up on the Star Trek. Some of these, like the...
They're not, some of them's not that expensive.
No, most of them aren't that expensive. It's just I got, sort of quantity on a couple things.
Yeah.
So, but...
you can't see any of that. I'm showing you so you can
I showed it all on screen anyway, but this one is going to be for specifically a video in the probably not too distant
So
future.
which kid's getting live in the box now?
Yeah, well, there's that. But yeah, this set is getting hard to find. So these ones here are actually about $10 a pack, US. So that's a little bit more than current Pokemon packs for the most part, and that's why I wasn't buying into a ton of it.
But, when do you get more honey?
Wanted to get a couple. My box of the sets for movie, I've got every set for movie block in there except for Reflections, which is a bit of a strange
live like Lift, not live like
I only had 2 of that. We also managed to get a pre-constructed starter deck for Chamber of Secrets.
Woo!
So this is the Percy Weasley starter deck. And the other one was a Quidditch deck based around the twins. I forget the specific name of the card, but there were 2 of these. And if you put them side by side, you had Percy sort of chasing off the twins who had their brooms in front of the house, if you put the 2 pictures side by side. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab them both. But if you want to grab just behind you there.
This file?
Yes. You can put this here for now. Earlier, I showed in one of our streams, we got 3 packs of Chamber of Secrets. So we got a pack art set of sealed boosters and the pre-constructed. Now, just for this, 3 booster packs and a pre-constructed deck. This set is by far, it's the largest set that they released for Harry Potter TCG in terms of number of cards in the set. And it was the last one, and it's hardest to find. So it's most expensive by far. So for 3 boosters and this one deck, the total cost came to about the same as a full booster box of Quidditch Cup, which is the cheapest, and not that far off from Diagon Alley, which is the second cheapest. Both of those, for this amount of money, I was able to get a full booster box. This, I got 3 boosters and a precon. So
Yeah, that I had to pay. That was like $17 in tariffs on that one.
yeah, on top of that, and this a little bit less than those because it was part of a,
Well,
something where the bulk was elsewhere. But
no, I'm talking about over like that. It's still a lot
Yeah,
for the
just-
proportional.
just this deck alone, I paid $75 US for. So
Yeah.
that's and comparable for 3 boosters. Like they're getting up there. So put the 2 of those together, $150. That's about what I paid for the Chamber of Secrets.
So yeah,
booster
so
box
that
a couple of years ago.
that box we just got all this
Sorry,
stuff
not
from.
Chamber of Secrets booster box. The,
That
Quidditch Cup.
was Hills Wholesale Games.
Yeah, the massive squashy box was
And yeah, they're in the United States.
they are.
It was a lot. Well, I mean, tariffs were like customs were always and shipping fees were always a lot.
The reason Hills
But-
still has a lot of, particularly the Decipher games, and they're getting thin on a lot of them now, but Star Trek they're still well stocked on, was
Mhm.
when Decipher went under, they liquidated their warehouse of stocked product, and Hills
That one box is pretty beat
was
up.
one of the companies that picked up quite a number of
The one
them.
on top looks pretty beat up. Actually,
Yeah,
they both look
it's-
beat up in
it's
different ways.
Squashed, but I'm gonna have to try and pick out the best ones for
Mm.
keeping for
What company? Okay,
went under.
the
That was
she just said what company?
Decipher was the company that their big 3 sets were the Star Wars CCG, the Star Trek CCG, and Lord of the Rings TCG.
But we bought them from Hills Wholesale Games.
Yes, and they're the one of the companies that scooped up a bunch of their stuff. Another one might have been Potomac Distribution. I'm not sure. I'd have to go through my research from 3 years ago, but yeah, a lot of it's getting tougher to find now.
The other mail that we have that we're going to be going through, this one with singles, came from Category 1,
Games.
also in the United States.
Yes. So
But-
most of the big stores for this old retro product that went out of print years or decades ago now
Please type in chat. I'm sorry.
is a little bit harder to find, and usually most of the stockpiles that still exist are in the United States. So, yeah, I got a couple of ideas for projects for this. Some of these I'm planning on opening. We've never opened the Q Continuum on stream, so I don't know if I'll open the whole box, but I want to open some of that for sure. As certain events come up, I do want to hit some of these others, and I also want to have some for locally trying to encourage a play group at some point. So that's going to be another whole project, which probably isn't going to get much play on the channel, but I'd like to have some for sort of future access for things down the road as well, which is why. I went
Hey,
with,
little Cubone. Hey,
extras
Sven.
some
Welcome in.
cases.
I hope
So-
you're having a great day. You're
Yeah.
welcome, Founder.
Alternate universe can be fun to open too for a number of reasons. So probably some of that. but yeah.
So we
Are,
need.
are we settled on Saturday for the Harry Potter stream?
Sure, we can do that.
So yeah, look forward. We're planning on this Saturday to maybe not completely wrap up, but put a capper on the 5 released sets. We've opened a booster box of base set for Harry Potter, a booster box also. We didn't do them all in order because we came into the base set late on in the process. But we've opened basically a booster box
Harry
of
Potter,
every
yes.
set: Quidditch Cup, Diagon Alley, and Adventure at Hogwarts. So Chamber of Secrets is the 5th and final set. Was not able to get a booster box. That would have been
That would be crazy
way out of the
expensive.
budget. But I got a few sample packs and a starter deck precon to go through, which I believe has a card list
Now,
in it for the whole set.
If
so
there's anybody
we'll still
out
be able to
there
discuss.
that wants to sponsor our channel by gifting us
That would be
a
amazing.
booster box, we would shout you out every day, every stream, even if it's Pokemon and not Harry Potter
That would be
related.
amazing, but not too likely. Anyway, we're going to switch the camera because some of these singles are going straight into some of my binders because they're to build collections that I'm already working on. Some for a project, some for just collecting's sake. So,
I wish that I could get that amount of stuff for that amount of money in Pokemon. Like, it's crazy because what we paid for this,
yeah, I know, would be
like 2 booster boxes and an ETB of the current set.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's just flip it down this way.
And I have to walk around the table.
Maybe we'll bring the camera down a little bit. One thing I will say about this stand, yes, it's a little wiggly. It is a lot smoother when we adjust it.
So one of the tricky things we're going to have to do on the, or I'm going to have to try on the Harry Potter.
Sorry, that's probably not sweet enough, or maybe,
stream,
I don't know.
I don't know.
There wasn't much honey left.
Is I've been trying to keep one of each pack arts to put in for decorating my binder or if I change to something else. So I've got representation. Because I only have the one of each, I'm going to have to be very careful and try to open these if I want to save them for the front of my binder here. But yeah, Percy Weasley is a character that there has not been a version of at all in any of the sets we've opened, whereas the twins
do we want to let them guess
did have a previous card. So
who this character is supposed to be?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you guess who that is supposed to be?
Any Harry Potter fans that might be able to identify the big smiling face from Chamber of Secrets?
A certain professor.
Yeah, well, that just gave it away for sure, because most of the professors aren't known for their smiles.
I don't know. I knew who it was as soon as I saw the picture. I just couldn't remember his name.
All right, so I've got that out, and I've got my Lord of the Rings TCG binder here as well. So we'll dig into the envelope here from
Seriously, no idea,
games.
says Boyd.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Gilderoy.
The one who stole
Gilderoy
everybody else's
Lockhart.
ideas and pretended that they were his.
Yeah. And then the other pack arts there are Dobby the House Elf.
Hey,
and,
Broly, dropping in to hit the like. Gotta get back to work. Oh, that's stinking work.
Yeah, it sure does.
Time.
I do like the fact that they tape this but fold the tape over so it's easy to peel off, and then they just put one of these on to help protect it.
This is just a pop-up live. We're just, kind of going
some recent acquisitions, singles and sealed product for
Thanks
future
for popping
streams.
in. Appreciate you.
Some of it will be recent, some of it will be are coming up shortly here, some of it will be over the next year.
I just like mail day videos, and I'm looking forward to when eventually I get my mail from Broly.
Dang it. That just tore.
Because
horribly.
I'm getting my graded Mewtwo that I won. The Crown Zenith Mewtwo. I'm so excited.
That still isn't.
I just gotta not be on Broly's streams when I'm up for the big cards, because that's when I win. It's when I'm not there.
Oh, wow.
Actually, any big card that I've won, I don't think I've been there for.
Okay. So let's see, just going by memory from my packing list. When we opened...
Get ready for site survey. Good luck with pulls and mails. Thank you.
When we opened Harry Potter, 2 of the sets from a booster box, we completed the whole set. Those were Quidditch Cup and Diagon Alley. But the 2 more expensive ones, Adventures at Hogwarts, which is this symbol here, we were short 4 cards, and I was able to find 2 of them. And I was also able to find about half the cards we were missing from the base set, which is a bigger set, and so the odds of completing it from one box are far worse. Chamber of Secrets, by the way, is even bigger than base sets. So, but as you can see here, this is card 4 out of 80. So let's flip this open to the right section here. Adventures at Hogwarts starts.
Did anybody see the post that I
Where?
put on our
Here.
community post? Some places I just outright shared it on their
This
Discords.
is not. I can't shift the binder further
Yep.
because of the stand.
Okay, sorry. I can do this.
It's still not working very well.
It's because this is annoying now.
We need to angle this way more.
Okay, like that.
Anyway, so detention here is a rare. It's card 4 out of 80. And you got McGonagall there. It's an adventure. Your opponent can't use actions to play adventure cards. And your opponent chooses 2 adventure cards from his or her hand and discards them in order to solve it. And then your opponent may draw a card. So basically, it's an anti-adventure adventure. Not the most exciting thing, not in the best condition. You can see some playware, but I just wanted to have one for the set. And there we go. There's card number 4 in the set. It fills one of the holes. So like I said, we were missing 4 cards. That's down to 3. The other one I found that we didn't have from Adventure at Hogwarts is Peeves the Poltergeist. So they call him a ghost in this. Technically, he's not really like the other ghosts in the Harry Potter series. Peeves the Poltergeist was worth 2 locked doors and a tricked staircase if you met him when you were late for class. So there we go. And it's another rare. This is card 20. So not a hollow version of either of these, just base versions. But like I said, I'm just trying to fill out the set. And card 20 goes at the top of the page here. This is not going to fit in this sleeve, so I'll pop it out of the sleeve.
Okay. Oh, so Thursday.
So there's Peeves the Poltergeist.
Thursday we plan to open the booster box of Phantasmal Flames.
Next for the base set.
If anyone wants to know.
Which, did I have base set? I must have been at the front. Yeah, there we go. So for base set, we've got the Draft of Living Death, card 22 as a rare. It was one of the ones I was missing. This is a potion spell that costs 8. To play this card, you must discard 2 of your potion's lessons from play, do 12 damage to your opponent or to a creature of your choice. So that's a big chunk of damage, but you do have to discard extra lessons.
Hey, Trainer Glenn.
What would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood?
We're just adding some mail that we got to Papa Spocat's Harry Potter binder.
So that's 18.
Is Harry Potter
19,
based
20,
off the worst
21,
witch?
22.
I doubt it. Harry Potter is...
I don't think so, not to my knowledge.
It's J.K. Rowling's books.
Yeah, she researched a few things in making her story, but this one goes right here.
I don't know anything about the worst witch, so which came first?
I was able to find about half the cards I was missing for the base set here. So then we've got a guard dog. This is an uncommon, card 53. And it's a creature that costs 7, 3 damage each turn, and 5 health. Let them in. He let them in, struggling to keep hold of the collar of an enormous black boarhound. So we find out later that that boarhound is
again, we
called
got these
Fang.
singles from Category 1 games.
Yeah.
They're great for singles. They have some sealed stuff too. It's just, they're great for single cards.
Yeah.
Well,
so
special like the older ones, right?
53. Yeah, older card games. They're one of the better stocked sites.
And I will say
sure.
they are really great for
so that one goes right here.
And,
that completes that page of uncommons.
And talking to them and getting stuff sorted out. They're amazing that way. I
did get
them.
a hollow of this one. So this is Nearly Headless Nick. If I can get the art to show
Ryan,
up
how are you
properly
doing?
here.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, wow. That looks really neat.
So, and again, this game art design was
that hollow looks
before
cool,
the films started to come out. The entire run, the first couple sets came out before the first movie, or the first set did, and it was just before Chamber of Secrets film released that they came out with the Chamber of Secrets set, and that was the final one. They canceled it after that because they didn't want brand confusion, I think.
To like happen upon it at a thrift store and nobody know
that would be something. So this is card 13 for Nearly Headless Nick. So that's back to page 2.
Trainer Glenn working and lurking.
And character Gryffindor unique once per game. You may search your deck When you do, you may take up to 2 item cards in your deck, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck.
This is actually a really fun and easy game to play. It's pretty simple too. Like,
yeah, that's the card back if you're curious. The Harry Potter trading card game. And it was made by Wizards of the Coast, which does Magic the Gathering.
Advertisement really has your channel figured out. Movado watches.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So there's that. Do we have a perfect fit sleeve for the holo?
Yeah, there's some over here.
Might as well throw.
I think that might be. We need to get some more sleeves.
The holos are definitely a little bit more sought after, a little bit rarer. Actually, in the first set, some cards were only available in holo. So 13.
No, we just go and buy tickets to a concert that's next September.
It goes right
next year.
here.
That's what we do.
On this page. And why is this?
We got a couple extra tickets so that we could take
there
a couple of the kids.
So here we have us, Nick, at the front of that page.
So it's not strictly going to be a just Mama and Papa Spocat night out.
Yeah. Splurged a little on that one. We haven't been to any concerts in a long time, and the last one was actually a Weird Al one, probably over a decade ago now.
Well, we went to see Phantom of the Opera when they had that, but that's different. That was like a musical thing.
We got Platform 9 3/4. This is card 32, another rare.
Oh, we also saw The Sound of Music when they were in...
I suppose that's been a while too. To play this card, discard one of your lessons from play. You get 2 more actions this turn. Walk straight at the barrier between platforms 9 and 10. Don't stop and don't be scared. You'll crash into it. Molly Weasley.
I don't think the Bills play the Jags this year. And if they didn't, I'm pretty sure cheap seats would be the best I could do. Yeah.
32. Yeah, we happened to be in the position where we could get tickets as well, which is pretty rare. So
yeah, we might not be in a few months, but now we are, and if we buy them now, then we're good for the concert.
Right. Something special for next year. Anyway, Ravens to Writing Desks. Transfiguration spell. If your opponent has, and this is still a rare, if your opponent has 2 or more creatures in play, choose one of them and discard it. So
reigning MVP is the Bills quarterback. Okay.
For an anti-creature deck roll.
Tickets reflect that. Yeah. Well, see, you know what's funny about tickets? If you want to go see a Toronto Maple Leafs game in Toronto, their tickets are just expensive. Good luck getting tickets.
And the last one is an uncommon adventure.
They're always expensive.
Reptile House. And there you've got poor Harry being pushed around by his cousin and his cousin's friend. Your opponent can't use more than 1 action to play lesson cards during each of his or her turns. That's not much of a restriction, honestly. To solve, your opponent chooses 4 of his or her lessons in play and discards them. That is pretty steep to solve, actually. And opponent's reward, your opponent may draw a card. That's not a very big reward. So, yeah. Doesn't see a lot of play as I understand it, but...
Still $18 beers like a real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Well, any event you go to, food is and
so this
are
one
always
goes
so
up
expensive.
Here, which I'm still missing 2 other cards on this page for uncommons. So yeah, there's still quite a few holes in the base set.
That card? Which card did you just show him? Oh, the
Reptile House.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, poor Harry. Bonk. Again, I'm not getting these for their play value so much for this. It's just to try and fill some of the holes left in the set after we opened a booster box. So
you can still get like starter decks from the earlier sets that aren't too expensive either. Right?
No, yeah, the starter deck we got for the base set was probably around 40 or 50 bucks. It was definitely a little more reasonable. I think it was $40-something
but it's fun and fairly easy to play.
Yeah. So I'll shift that back here and pull up the Lord of the Rings one. Now this Fellowship of the Ring, the first set for Lord of the Rings, we opened 2 booster boxes of. I did on stream, I believe. And I was trying to see how much of the set I could get. In those 2 booster boxes, I had no duplicates whatsoever. However, the more playable cards, especially for the faction I wanted to play, the Moria Orcs, I didn't get any of. So I still have 1 booster box, which I haven't decided for certain if I want to open or not yet. I was leaning initially not planning to, but then I've been thinking I might. But either way, these are some of the more playable cards, so I've got them for the set now, and if I end up with doubles of them, they'll be handy. This was not in the mail, but I also had a copy of Sting that I had picked up for a deck before as well, so I'll throw this in the set while I'm doing this. And I can always pull it out when I get around to building a Fellowship deck. But the bearer must be Frodo.
Is that 15 damage?
I'll explain the troll when I get to it in a second here, but basically that's its strength number. Fellowship or regroup, exert Frodo to reveal an opponent's hand, remove 1 shadow counter for each orc revealed, limit of 4. Orcs are very common as enemies, so if you're happening against them, the glowing blade of Sting will warn you and limit the amount of resources they have to play orcs, basically. So it makes it harder for them to take you by surprise. The troll here costs 10, so it's expensive. That's how much shadow you would have to pay to cast it. Scourge of the Black Pit. Strength, that's its combat number. And when you're fighting, most heroes have strength. This adds 2 to a hero's strength. Most hobbits start at 3 strength, so this would boost them to 5. Aragorn, I think, has like strength 8 typically. He's one of the stronger characters. And then again, you can add weapons to boost them. Legolas, I think, is 6, and it sort of scales. In a fight with a creature one-on-one, if it's stronger, then that's gonna damage your character. If it's more than double the character it's fighting, so say this was fighting someone with strength 7, it would just straight out KO them. It's not dealing damage at that point. If you're more than doubled in strength, your character can just be outright lost. And that's how much health, how many wounds they can take, and it has to be at least Sight 4 before you can play this. So damage plus 1, so that means if it does beat a character, say he was fighting someone who had strength 12, it would still beat them, and instead of dealing 1 damage, it would deal 2. Fierce means after the first round of combat, this guy will fight again. So he's up for 2 rounds of combat if he isn't beaten in the first round. To play Spot a Moria Orc, so he can't come in alone. And at an underground site, Cave Troll of Moria's Twilight cost is -3. So you'd have to pay 7 instead of 10 if it's an underground site. So if you're playing him in Moria. Frodo's quest nearly ended before his companions halted at the Cave Troll's ferocious attack. Yeah. So again, this is one of the more popular characters from the first Fellowship set, especially for that group. In the second set they printed, they came out with the actual Balrog, which is stronger than the Cave Troll. But until that point, and even after that point, this was still a useful companion to have.
Such a cute creature.
In a way.
I'm being sarcastic.
So I also didn't get Elrond, and Elrond is, they did make characters so he could be part of your party later, but initially he was just an ally with Home Site 3. And you can see he
is such a talented actor.
Yes. I remember when the jokes came, when Lord of the Rings first came out, he was, there were all kinds of jokes about him being Agent Elrond, but he's done other iconic roles as well, and that was Agent Smith from The Matrix.
I love that he can be a villain in one movie and then be a good guy in another movie, and you don't associate, you can separate it. He's that kind of actor.
And to play Elrond, you have to spot either Gandalf or another elf. And at the start of each of your turns, heal every ally whose home site is 3. So if you've got other people from his home site of Rivendell, he just heals them all each turn. And Fellowship exert Elrond to draw a card.
I wish I knew how to shut off the Discord alerts on my phone.
Now, there are certain cards you can use that will allow them to battle at adjacent sites or other places, but basically his home site is the only site he can naturally actually fight at. That's how allies work. They don't travel with you. We've got Goblin Armory. This was one of the big enabler cards for the Moria Orcs. It's a condition. Plays to your support area each time you play a Moria weapon. Add a shadow, and some of them only cost 1 shadow, for example, so that basically makes them free. Response: if a Moria Orc is about to take a wound, discard this condition to prevent that wound. So if you're also going to lose one of your key orcs in a combat, you can ditch this to keep it around. But the main point of this is to make your weapons free, to make it easier to cycle things. For Scavenging Vermin, the weapons of fallen foes are prized possessions.
Goodness.
Then we've got Goblin Swarms. This is another of the big enabling conditions for this faction. Plays to your support area. Response: if your Moria Orc wins a skirmish, discard cards and wounds on that orc and stack that orc on this condition. So usually with your bad guys, after they've fought their skirmishes, they're just done and they're discarded at the end of turn. This allows you to stack them here instead and play an orc stacked here as if played from your hand. So if your orc actually wins a fight, it can stay around and come back on another turn. So that helps you to keep your guys going. And some of the Moria orcs can be fairly cheap and economical to use this way as well. So this is the other enabler. Now this is card number 1 in the set, the rare version of the One Ring. If this was in a foil, this would be one of the most expensive cards in the set. The foils, you only get a foil in every 6 packs or so on average in this game. So they're hard to come by. And in sets where the entire set was available as foils, you'd get 1 rare foil in an entire booster box. And there's 121 rares in the set. So you'd have to open 121 boxes to find this as a foil. But this version of the One Ring, unlike the common version, which I've got up here, common version adds 1 to your attack like this does, but this one also adds 1 to the ring bearer's health. And if the bearer is about to take a wound, he can wear the One Ring until the regroup phase. While wearing the One Ring each time the ring bearer is about to take a wound, add 2 burdens instead. And it takes 10 burdens for your ring bearer to be eliminated via burdens. There are ways to remove burdens just like there are ways to heal, but this sort of adds another health pool. So this is, card 1 for the set. It's the One Ring. It's iconic. I didn't have it, so I scooped that up as well. And then we got the Witch King, the leader of the Nazgul. Also a very strong character at 14. Takes 8 to deploy. Fierce. Can play at site 3, so a little quicker than the Troll. For each other Nazgul you can spot, the Witch King is strength +2. So if you get multiple Nazgul, oh baby, this guy can be a real threat as well. That's all I had for the Lord of the Rings to flush out the cards of the set. And then I did grab a few Star Trek commons. These are just for a Klingon deck that I'm building. Binar's weapon enhancements, placed on table. Your ship's weapons get +2 attack and for your weapons, and it's cumulative. So if I got 2 copies in play, these are both white border printings of the base set. However, one is from 1995 and one is from 1994. The base set was printed 4 different times. There was a collector's edition with silver borders. There was the main first run printing in 1994 with black borders. Then there was a white bordered 1994, and then white bordered 1995 is the most common and easy to get. That's the one that the booster boxes I picked up a whole case of for $24 a box. Like, really, that's US, obviously, and that's, then of course we had shipping and conversion to Canadian funds and tariffs to the border. So yeah, the price goes up from there, but you can see slight difference in the darkness of the ink,
shipping address. So then they had
yeah,
to verify. It was,
but generally speaking, economical. And if you're a fan of Star Trek, I do recommend the game.
But not this the company's fault. It's just
card came out later. This is from a set called the Dominion, which was one of the first sets for Deep Space Nine, actually, but it's a Next Generation card. double engineer the binars, double small star staffing icon, and can download that little triangle any binars card. So it can go and get these. And it's double engineer, double computer skill, nullifies all computer crash cards in play. So protects you, gives you some stat buff as a crew, double crew member type card. Can be handy. Klingons, like I said, for the Klingon deck, this will boost their weapons, give them some more engineers, potentially useful. I also picked up Captain Kang, who adds 2 to your weapons at a Klingon-based mission. So if your Klingon ship is flying around, as long as it's on a mission that Klingons can attempt, it's even stronger. And this is a version also. It's a Star Trek Voyager episode.
I've never seen Star Trek cards.
No, the game was fairly popular back in the 90s. Like I said, it came out. This one here was printed in 2002. And this came in the motion picture set. This was the last set that they had booster packs for. And the 94 was the early printing of the base set. That was the run. The game started in 1994 and lasted basically until 2002.
I think
so.
They have some.
That's at 9 years, and
Don't they have a new game now or something?
It covered
game? Or new cards, trading cards.
They did a second edition after this actually, so it kept going beyond that with retooled rules. But the Decipher collapsed in 2007 or so, so there was nothing for this line of games before after that. But yeah, so Captain Kang respected warrior named firstborn son in honor of his friend Curzon Dax, has watched the careers of the Enterprise crew ever since he first encountered them in 2268. So yeah, leadership, diplomacy, honor, physics, and then the weapons buff. But yeah, this was a fun card game, and Decipher's longest running continuous, of their big 3. The Star Wars one started a year later in 95 and wrapped up in 2001. And then 2001 was also basically when they were kicking off the Lord of the Rings. Let's see, where's the date on this? In the bottom corner here, if it'll focus. Come on.
I'm getting an ad
focus.
For a skiing vacation.
2001 Decipher. So that's when they kicked off with the Lord of the Rings trading card game. And the backs of these don't even have the name on it. It's just the Star Trek icon. There from, again, originally it was the Next Generation for the first few expansions. Then they moved into Deep Space Nine for the next several expansions, including 2 that the Trouble with Tribbles and the Mirror one that had original series. After those wrapped up, they moved into Voyager for a little while, and they finished up with one set from the motion pictures, and they had previously done one specifically when First Contact, the film, came out. So there's a set just for First Contact, and then there's another motion picture set that covers the rest of the films that had been out to that point, which was up to Insurrection, I believe.
What's impressive is the actors that they got to play Klingons.
Oh yes, there are some very
like Christopher Lloyd, Christopher Plummer. Anyway, like, oh my goodness.
I'm going to now put some of these in the binder here. So we've got the one ring. I don't think this is going to fit in here in this particular sleeve. Oh, maybe it will. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
So there's the one ring. And this is in the way again.
Sorry.
I should have put these in order. So this is card 200, 183, 100, and you can see the card numbers at the bottom here, 175, 100, this is card 40, and 165, and Sting is 313. Yes, these were big sets. Basically, you had a rare sheet, an uncommon sheet, and a common sheet. And each was an 11 by 11 sheet, so that's 121 cards. So the whole set was 121 commons, 121 uncommons, and 121 rares, for a total of 363 cards, plus 2 promo cards that only came in the starter decks. So 365 cards in the set. Yeah, big sets. And that was common at the time. Magic the Gathering sets, some of them around 5th edition and stuff, were getting up to 500 and some odd cards. Like, they were chunky sets. And they didn't have as many different printings or different things. I've still got a lot of holes in this. As you can see, I opened 2 booster boxes. Every common and uncommon out of 2 booster boxes I have now. It's only rares that are missing. And I have more than half of the rares, but there's still quite a few missing. So here's Elrond. Card 40 goes right here. I've got, you can see down at the bottom of the page here, Galadriel we pulled.
I remember
and
when
at the
we
top
did the
there,
stream,
Arwen.
and filling the binder
Celeborn
was
over
fun.
on the other page as well. Double Shot, a very playable card. Glad I got that one. Next, they're organized by race here. I've got Legolas Greenleaf, a very playable card as well, for archery. There's some of the Gandalf faction cards and Númenórean human faction. Then we're into Sauron's orcs. There's Lurtz there, the Bane of Boromir. They're actually become a very strong faction, especially in the Two Towers as well, because so many of them have got damage +1 and eventually fierce. They can be stronger in combat. But the Moria orcs, their shtick was that they're cheaper and more aggressive to play, multiple of them, so you can try and swarm the enemy fellowship so that their weaker characters have to fight more often. That's the trick with them. So we got the Cave Troll of Moria. This is card 165. That would go right up here in the top corner.
Founder's going to have a sleep.
Thanks for joining us, Founder. And yeah, the sleep is a little too thick, so
Do you want to
take out the Cave Troll. Then this one is 273. That'll be on the next page. Top center, Goblin Armory. You have a perfect fit because this is probably one of the more expensive cards in the set because it enables the most popular group of bad guys in this particular set. There are cards that get more individual play, but they tend to be uncommons or commons and things. And so that's definitely one of the big enablers for the Moria orcs. Goblin Swarms is as well. So if you got another one, and this one is 183, which goes up in the top corner here as well. Yes, please. So eventually I do plan on trying to build a deck with these, and unfortunately, like I said, I was really hoping to pull more of these cards for the Moria orcs and just didn't. So now I've got them. We'll see if I open that last booster box or not. I'm still undecided on that. They're getting a little bit more expensive and harder to find. I would say, what last year I would have said that a booster box of Fellowship of the Ring boosters, you can still find them, but they'll cost about the same as current booster boxes for Pokemon and Magic. Since then, current booster boxes for Pokemon and Magic have gone up in price. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's still pretty close because I think last time I saw one of these on sale for a booster box of this set, it was $180 US. So that's still probably within the range you'd expect for a modern set.
That's what
actually,
used to be able to buy them from Pokemon Center when they had booster boxes.
Well, that was Canadian. I know. Yeah, but anyway. So the Witch King there at 237 is where? 238. So 237 would be up here. Actually, the most commonly played Nazgul.
Why is Aragorn right here?
Is Enkea, which is an uncommon, but his ability to just, if you can spot 6 companions, if your opponent has a big crew on the board, you can just drop this guy down and exert him, so use one of his health to wound an enemy other than the ring bearer. So you can use him to just pick off one of their stronger characters for up to 3 wounds if needed. Like, very, very strong. That Aragorn over here is not part of, that was from the 3rd set printed. It's a very strong version of Aragorn, and I picked one up for deck building, but I don't have him in the set, so I keep him separate over here. He actually plays similar to Sting in that it's about limiting your opponent's shadow pool, which is what they use to play cards. So Sting is a Hobbit-themed card. You can see the different symbols, the different border color. For the Mori Orcs, the Nazgul have the crown there. Mordor Orcs have the eye. The white hand is for Saruman's forces. And this is card 313. So that'll be right near the back in the Hobbit section, just before locations. 314, 313 goes right here, right close to Samwise Gamgee. And Sam is a very popular card. Even in movie block, the common Sam here is very good because 2 reasons. Sams in general, all versions of Sam, I think, can double as a backup ring bearer. If Frodo gets struck down and you've got Sam on the table, Sam can take over as ring bearer, but with only half the resistance Frodo had. So he's a backup plan in that regard. But this version also has the ability to exert Sam to remove a burden. So burdens was, like I said, not the health, but the other way that the ring bearer can get worn down. And Sam can lighten his load in that respect. So a very popular version of Samwise. And that one's only common, I believe. Yeah, common. So not too expensive to get either, which is nice. And then all the locations. Like I said, in a booster box, you usually only get 6 foils. And here's the 2 promo cards that only came in the starter deck. And then I'll, since I'm here, just show off the foils that we pulled. We got a foil version of Pillars of the Kings, the Argonath, which is nice. I like foil locations. Balin's Tomb. There's a Balin's Tomb box topper in the Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings, which is one of the most sought after ones. This is a little different, but still nice to have. I love the foil locations. We got Gimli as a foil. That was our most expensive rare pull, I think.
That just looks cool.
It does look cool. The
I like the
jewels in his beard and the glint of his axe at the edge there.
Yeah.
We got a Dwarven Axe, speaking of, as a common foil. And then on the back of the page, Orc Banner. This is a rare. We got 2 rares in our second box, which was extra lucky. Usually you get 1 rare foil, 2 uncommon foils, and 3 common foils is statistical average in the box. So we also got Lost to the Goblins. We got a Goblin Troop Patrol. The Rings Oppression.
Really cool.
It does look cool. It's not a great card, but the foiling on the cards, they did a good job. And that the ring pulling him down there, it looks nice. We got an Uruk Rager. The helmet is rusty, but it's still very shiny in the foil. So there you go. And then we've got Battle Fury. Again, Gimli with the selected armor and weapon elements that are foiled. And then we've got the Black
breath as the Nazgul closing in, trying to get Frodo before he got to Rivendell. We got a talent for not being seen as a foil, and that's just Merry and Pippin at Rivendell. The only elements in the picture that were foiled are the chandeliers there with the candlestick holders. Not very impressive. And then Hobbit Appetite. So there's the food. All shiny food as they're making
Second
their meal.
breakfast or something.
Yeah. And then I've got just a handful of cards from some of the other sets. Most of these are not, trying to find booster boxes and stuff for all the sets isn't going to happen for this game. Just too hard to find, too expensive. But the singles are fairly common and easy to find. So these are both the common and rare versions of the Balrog from the second set. And so they're also Moria Orc group. And you can see strength 17, damage +1 and fierce. It's even stronger than the Cave Troll. And different sort of conditions and uses on the two of them. But these would look awesome in foils, as foils. Unfortunately, don't have that. But I did grab those in case I do get around to making a Fellowship block deck. And so I've got them there. Has nice little additions as well. And then I did open a little bit of the Two Towers. Not quite a... where did I put the foils from that?
Sorry. I'm knocking this over.
Anyway. And there was Return of the King block. For each of them, they released an anthology with Elvish cards. So these are the Elvish cards for the Return of the King block. Shelob, and there's Peter Jackson as Castamere in Elvish.
That'd actually be a neat card to get him to sign.
It would. The Elvish cards are not worth as much as the English, generally speaking, but they're neat because you got a full set of them with each of the anthology boxes, along with a number of packs and sometimes a starter deck. So that was neat. Here's a promo card that they came out with. What year was this? 2004? 2003. So this was around the time that they had come out with Return of the King. And so this was their plans going forward from there. They were going to do Siege of Gondor and Mount Doom to finish out the Return of the King block, and then restart and go through the whole movie set again with Shadows, Black Rider, Bloodlines, Hunters, Rise of Saruman, Treachery and Deceit, The Great Eye, Shelob's Lair, and Age's End. This got derailed. They never got all these sets made. They did get most of them made. Everything up to Treachery of Deceit got made, but the numbering for the set shifted because after Siege of Gondor, they came out with Reflections, which was set 9, and Mount Doom got shifted to 10, etc. And they had a couple of other specials in there. Age's End, I think, ended up at set 19, and that was their final release. It wasn't the full set. It was just a promo box, basically. And, yeah, that was sort of the run of the game. The sets after... The reset didn't go well. So Shadows and Black Rider are still fairly easy to find. Bloodlines gets a little trickier. And anything after that, the Hunters, the Rise of Saruman, and Treachery and Deceit, the last 3 sets, are all super hard to find and very expensive. Like 200 US a pack expensive if you can find it at all. So, yeah. Anyway. So that's just a little rundown of the game, very briefly. And my collection here. They had a couple of different foiling things, and I'm not going to get into all the details. I'm not really an expert on it. I did pick up Age's End, the box set, so mainly my collection is focused on Fellowship of the Ring, the very first set. The gameplay for Decipher's games was very well done, especially for their big 3 games, the Star Wars, Star Trek, and Lord of the Rings. They mimicked the gameplay loop to make it play very much like the films. So you're trying to sneakily get Hobbit with the ring through hazards. That works very well in the first film. Second film, still fairly good. Starts to get some cracks when you get big battles going on. And then it starts to break down a little bit when you get to the Return of the King in terms of gameplay. Although Frodo is still trying to sneak to Mount Doom, so there is that element still there. With the Star Trek game, it revolves, like I said, I'm building a Klingon combat deck, so these cards are focused on that. But usually you're trying to solve missions, so it's very episodic, like the TV show. You're going to a place to try to solve a problem, and you come across dilemmas that get in your way, and, it's first one to score 100 points wins. Star Trek was very good in that sense. In the Star Wars, it's light side versus dark side. You're trying to run your opponent's life force down, and that's done through controlling sights and combat and force draining. And it's a very well put together mechanic too. That one, when they lost the rights to Star Wars, they actually came out with a card game called Wars, which used the same game engine idea and just put their own IP on it. They thought that the Star Wars engine was popular enough to stand on its own, basically. And I would argue that it had the potential, but it just wasn't able to keep up. Star Wars rights moved over to Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast's game they made with it really didn't do that well. It wasn't as popular, and became hard to find quickly and ended much, much quicker than the Decipher one's run was. Decipher had the rights for that, like I said, from 95 through 2001. So the last year that it was out and they were making sets for it, the episode 1 had released in theaters, I think, in 1999. So they were starting to incorporate episode 1 elements into what had originally been a game designed and played entirely around the original trilogy. So that was interesting and it was good, but they probably would have kept going if they hadn't lost the rights, unfortunately. I don't know why Lucasfilm decided to shift rights. They should have kept it where it was, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's our mail day. Increased my collection for Fellowship of the Ring, increased my collection for the Harry Potter sets, and look forward to some deck building options, and got some more sealed product. Quite a bit for Star Trek. Very, very little for Lord of the Rings. Like I said, just a couple packs of Siege of Gondor, which is, to me, not the most interesting set, but it's definitely one of the harder ones to find. So it was a good price. I scooped a couple of packs for $10 each. And then the Harry Potter, which will be doing Chamber of Secrets for Harry Potter very soon. Probably on Saturday is the plan. So look forward to getting back into that and discussing a little bit, hopefully, about where the series went after this. Like I said, it still has some very avid fans out there. Dolby is still a very popular character as well, and he came in this set. And yeah, so it'll be fun to return to that game. It is simple, but it's fun, and honestly, the community that goes after, they still are coming out with things about it.
To your face, will we?
Sure. Playmats and virtual sets that followed on from there. Because like I said, the card game got canceled just before the Chamber of Secrets film came out. The first few books, I think 4 books were out at that point. Maybe the 5th was, I forget the book's timing. Anyways, but people have made virtual sets to try to continue it on and push it through. What would have happened if they'd had extra sets for Chamber of Secrets and you actually got a Gilderoy Lockhart wizard card, which isn't in Chamber of Secrets, interestingly, and you actually got to work on some of the other elements that happened there, and then move into Prisoner of Azkaban, and then the Goblet of Fire, and all these other sets that they could have potentially, kept growing these characters and game elements throughout. There's actually a website that's fan made doing that sort of thing. So I don't know how popular it is. It doesn't seem to be making great progress at the moment, but it's there, and there's still a lot of those resources available. Anyway, we'll take a closer look at that at a later time. Thank you for joining us, and
have a good day.
Something a preview of some stuff to come.
I was going to put up a video today about some Phantasmal Flames openings from the other night. I think I might save that for tomorrow, and then Thursday we're going to be opening a booster box of Phantasmal Flames. And who knows if we throw anything else in there.
Right.
We'll see. So have a good day, and well, until next time, I guess.
Thanks for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
joining our mail day video. Well, his mail day video. It's all his stuff.
Cheerio.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Yay.